welcome to MetroArts. I'm your host, Naksheen Naseeb. Here on MetroArts, we highlight some of the best in the business, from fine artists, photographers, and performing artists to cinematographers and musical artists, all from the Metro Detroit area. On today's show, we have singer-songwriter Brittany Myree, Derek Weaver from the 4731 group that promotes graffiti art, and the Parody Group, a Habeas Chorus Line. We'd like to welcome singer-songwriter Brittany Marie to the Midtown studio. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me.
Anytime. So describe your music for me.
My music for me is just that. It's just mine. It's something that I feel and that I just bottle myself into. So it's my own music. Like, it's just me.
It's just all you.
Exactly.
So you're born and raised in Detroit. Mm-hmm. How has Motown influenced your music?
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily Motown influence, though I have my favorite Motown artists. It's really my family. My family is like our own little Motown in itself, and everybody in my family sings, so it was just easy for me to start and just keep going at that point because everybody sung.
They're all into it.
Exactly.
So do you write all your songs?
Yes, mostly.
Are they all based on personal experiences?
Yes, a lot of them are personal. Some are from my friends or associates, things that they feel and that they've told me, and it's easy for me to put it in songs.
So that's how the idea comes, correct?
Exactly. It's just I feel it, and once I feel it, it's easy for me to just write it out or sing it out in most cases.
So you started singing in church, and you were the youngest one to join Mosaic Youth Theater of Detroit at the time. How has that influenced you?
Well, church was my start. My grandmother just grabbed me and put me on stage, and I started singing. But Mosaic really sat me down and helped me perfect my skills, my singing on key, because I couldn't sing on key when I was there, right? Harmonizing and just being able to perform in front of large crowds as well.
So you've performed everywhere?
Yes, a lot of places all over, yeah.
And where exactly is the one place that you want to go that you haven't been yet?
There isn't anyone that I just want to go everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay, just anywhere that I can go, I'd rather go. The smallest venue to the largest venue, out of the country, out of the state, it doesn't matter. Just let me go perform and I'm happy.
As long as you're on TV
exactly.
in there. So where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
That's a hard question because I have my bachelor's degree in psychology and I intend to go for my master's in psychology, but I love my music and I plan to do music therapy as well. So it's just wherever the path, if they cross, I'm happy. If they don't, okay, as long as something is accomplished.
Yeah. So up next, you're going to perform 2 songs. Can you tell me about that?
Yep, I'm going to sing Lonely and Get Down.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And now a performance by Brittany Marie.
Couldn't maintain without me. I was your drug, but things started to change. You weren't acting the same. I started to see little things like I noticed how you never left your phone around and how you always seem to be hanging out. Baby, I held you down no matter what came around. That's why I don't understand, but it's okay. You ain't gonna never find nobody else like me. You ain't gonna know what to do when you're without me. For this misery, but then I thought it out. It's you who's missing out. You ain't gonna be nothing without me. See, baby, that's my car that you drive around, and baby, you're living here in my house. You can't go ahead, get out. What goes around comes back around. You gon' be leaving here with nothing but a frown. You ain't gonna never find nobody else like me. You ain't gonna know what to do when you're without me. You ain't gonna know what to do. how it is without me. You won't be able to eat, sleep, or breathe. You ain't gonna never find nobody else like me. You ain't gonna know what to do when you're without me. Gonna miss my kiss, my love inside me. It's alright 'cause you gon' end up being lonely. You ain't gonna never find nobody else like me. You ain't gonna know what to do when you're without me. Gonna miss my kiss, my love inside me. It's alright 'cause you gon' end up being lonely. You ain't gonna never find nobody else like me. You ain't gonna know what to do when you're without me. Gonna miss my kiss, my love inside me. It's alright 'cause you gon' end up being lonely. You ain't gonna never find nobody else like me. You ain't gonna know what to do when you're without me. Gonna miss my kiss, my love inside me. You ain't gonna know what to do, end up being lonely.
Yeah. What up, Squeak? Honey, how you doing, baby? What's up, girl? I see you came around with your boy. See? Yeah. I know the rest. I'm gonna let baby girl go and tell you that. Holler at him.
Oh boy, I see how you're staring, and I know that you're daring to come and speak to me. But first and foremost, just know that I'm a lady. So go on and get your game tight, 'cause it's gonna be a long night. And I hope you're playing cards right. You don't know what I say to you, you don't know what I do to you, boy. You don't know how I get down. But I'ma make sure when I show you it's gonna be what I told you. I'ma have you sing your baby slow down. You don't know what I say to you, you don't know what I do to you, boy. You don't know how I get down. But I'ma make sure when I show you it's gonna be what I told you. I'ma have you sing your baby slow down. Boy, there ain't no comparing. The other girls are preparing. Realize that my game got yours beat by 10. All I'm saying is that if you wanna come with me tonight, make sure the feeling's right. Maybe it's my show tonight. You don't know what I say to you, you don't know what I do to you, boy. You don't know how I get down. But I'ma make sure when I show you it's gonna be what I told you. I'ma have you sing your baby slow down. You don't know what I say to you, you don't know what I do to you, boy. You don't know how I get down. But I'ma make sure when I show you it's gonna be what I told you. I'ma have you sing your baby slow down. Yep, it's me again.
Voice and tell a friend.
Matter of fact, tell a couple we at the Holiday Inn.
Sit back, take it in, sip that over weed, hit that whistle, and spit. Okay, my tip tight is time for a change. Got 6 better known as the who's giving up the change? Why she giving up the brain? Like I'm chilling on the curb. I'm real serve. I'm singing when I'm chilling with your girl.
I know you like it, how you feeling in my
It's so good when you're out with your boy. I love a dollar sign steroids. That's how the flow is, girl. How the pocket is, how the yo is. You should
You
know
don't
how it
know.
is.
You don't know what I do to you, boy. You don't know how I get down. But I'ma make sure when I show you it's gonna be what I told you. I'ma have you sing your baby slow down. You don't know what I say to you, you don't know what I do to you, boy. You don't know how I get down. But I'ma make sure when I show you it's gonna be what I told you. I'ma have you sing your baby slow down.
Girl, I know you like it when I roll with the boss. It ain't nothing gon' break that off. Say you in love, you really in love,
Baby girl, I wanna be your thug. Girl, I know you like it, wanna roll with a boss. It ain't nothing gon' break that off.
Say you in love, I'm like, that's what's up.
Baby, I wanna be your
thug.
You don't know what I say to you, you don't know what I do to you, boy. You don't know how I get down. But I'ma make sure when I show you it's gonna be what I told you. I'ma have you sing your baby slow down. You don't know what I say to you, you don't know what I do to you, boy. You don't know how I get down. But I'ma make sure when I show you it's gonna be what I told you. I'ma have you sing your baby slow down.
Our next guest is Derek Weaver, the Principal Managing Director of the 4731 Group. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So how exactly did you get into graffiti art?
It's kind of a long story, but long story short, I met a graffiti artist named Sintex. He's been doing graffiti for 18 years in Detroit. So I'm working on the side of the road, pulled over, introduced myself. He gave me his business card, which I was really impressed with. I've never known any graffiti artist with business cards. So I called him 6 months later and had him do a couple murals on my building and kind of just started that way.
Stranger pulling up.
Yeah, and people started showing up, and
Okay, so can you tell us about Grand River Creative Corridor and the 4731 group?
The Grand River Creative Corridor is a project of the 4731 group. And what the Grand River Creative Corridor is, it's a neighborhood revitalization project concentrated on Grand River between Warren Avenue and Rosa Parks. This area was hit really hard during the Detroit riots, and basically only 10% of the buildings are still standing in that area, and they're not being maintained, and a lot of them were neglected. So working with Sintex, we kind of came up with this idea, let's use it as a blank canvas and do every building on this stretch of Grand River.
So you rebuilt it,
yeah.
necessarily.
Yeah.
So does the name symbolize anything?
Originally I was going to call the project the Grand River Graffiti Corridor, but I didn't want to really just limit it to graffiti. I wanted to really kind of turn it into a project where it's going to attract creative, younger generations, whether it be artists, entrepreneurs, and tourists.
Okay, so how many members do you have in the group?
There's over 45 artists actually involved in the Grand River Creative Corridor project. A majority of them are from Detroit. We have a handful from Ohio. We even have artists, a couple from Germany and France and New Zealand.
All over the map.
All over the place.
Well, we have a video of your footage, so let's take a look.
Probably at least a good 5 minutes of us just driving. Done. What's up? We got a boom. That's right here. Yeah,
That was really cool. I always wonder if the pieces I see are always yours. So are the people in Detroit accepting of your projects?
What this project is really about is change. And, anytime you're implementing change, you're going to have a small, percentage of people that resist it. But with this project, the people that live and work in this area are really accepting of it. We constantly have neighbors coming up to us and saying, this is the most exciting thing that I've seen in the past 50 years in this neighborhood. So it's really encouraging.
How long does it take you to do a huge piece like that with so many colors?
Well, what's really great about the graffiti art form is, it can be done really quickly. So, the average, mural in this project takes, a day or two.
Is there any current projects you're working on or new ones that are coming up?
With the first phase of the project, we've already installed over 100 exhibits and murals in the project on all the buildings along the stretch. But we do have a plan in the spring that we're going to be, implementing a lot more artwork and kind of diversifying the project. And as far as the Grand River Creative Corridor, this is just the beginning.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we're going to do a live demonstration up next. welcome the Parody Group, a Habeas Chorus Line, to the Midtown studio. Their first song is called The Oldest Establishment Permanent Line of Crap.
What's happening in the city of Detroit?
Kwame Kilpatrick is on trial again.
City Council rejected the Belle Isle lease.
Another police chief resigns after being caught with his pants down.
How are we ever going to survive?
The city's short 300 mil, and the state says it won't foot the bill.
The departments continue to bleed, paying workers they really don't need.
The crime rate's incredibly high, and folks are afraid to go out after dark.
And we can't help but wonder why. There's nothing but weeds in the parks. But the leaders say leave it to them. They don't need any dumb EFM.
Why the mayor, he says put your faith in Detroit.
If you're coming downtown, then it's all very good.
You'll be safe if you stay out of our neighborhood. Though we're bankrupt, you gotta have faith in what the future's holding in store. It's the oldest established permanent line of crap, same as before.
There are politicians everywhere, everywhere. There are politicians everywhere.
And there's no end to the content that they give us when they're on the air. If we only had a dime each time they lied, we would be in the air.
The council says put all your faith in, put your faith in Detroit.
We're jealous they safeguard the power we hold.
We'd rather eat a pile of crap than share piles of gold.
There's no money, but you should have faith in spending cuts we pledge to restore.
It's the oldest established permanent line of crap, same as before.
What nonsense! Use your brain.
For common sense and you'll wait in vain.
It's the oldest established permanent line of crap, same as
And now I'd like to welcome a couple of the group members from a Habeas Chorus Line. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you guys for joining us today. Can you introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Justin Klimko.
And I'm Sarah Fisher-Hodges.
Thank you guys. So how did you come up with the name of Habeas Chorus Line?
Well, we were first formed in 1992, and at that time there was a long-running Broadway play called A Chorus Line that was very popular. And there's also a legal procedure called writ of habeas corpus, which a lot of people have heard of. So being parodists, we combined those two concepts or ideas into the name of our group. And since we're doing plays on words all the time anyway, it seemed to make sense.
So how did you come up with a group?
Well, in 1992, the Federal Bar Association had been putting on these dinners for the federal judges to honor the federal judges once a year. And the president at that time decided she wanted to do something different. So she came up with the idea of putting on a show, and she contacted all of us and knew that each of us had had some kind of musical background and asked us if we put a show together, and we did, and the rest is history.
It's all fun and games now.
Yep, it is.
So you've been lampooning law, politics, and celebrities. How do you come up with the ideas for these songs?
Justin does that.
Yeah, that's mainly my job. I'm the lyricist for the group, and it's a combination of ways. Most of the time, I'm taking an idea and looking for a song that will match it. Once in a while, I've got a song in mind that I'd really like us to do, and I look for an idea that will go with the song, and sometimes that takes a lot longer to find. But there's so much going on current events-wise that we've always got plenty of raw material, so it's just a matter of harnessing that, finding the right song, writing the lyrics, and then doing all the rehearsing.
Always news every day.
Yes.
Oh, you better believe it.
We have a saying that real life is too funny, you can't make fun of some of this stuff. It's weirder than what we could think of. Yes.
So your next song is called We Didn't Quite Retire. What is that song about?
Go ahead.
Well, it's basically sort of self-explanatory. Justin wrote it about, us baby boomers not really being prepared, and with the economy going up and down, you know, being prepared for retirement or not really being prepared for retirement.
It's based on a Billy Joel song called "We Didn't Start the Fire," so many people are familiar with the song. But as Sarah said, it's a recognition of the fact that we all have a lot of work to do before we're ever going to be able to retire.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And now a performance from a Habeas Chorus Line.
So, Mike, how's your 201k doing?
Don't you mean 401k?
Well, unfortunately, after the last few years, I think not. But seriously, how is your retirement planning going?
You know, I can't pay my present bills, much less worry about future expenses.
Hey, Mark, how long do you figure you'll keep working?
Well, you know, I was thinking, let's see, what's my life expectancy again?
Pension plan and IRA, salaries, mortgage loans, and home equity.
Trips to London, trips to Rome, grown-up children live at home, mutual funds, bank accounts, and diamond jewelry.
Stocks, bonds, real estate, currency, interest rates, bigger car, expensive house, payments to my farmer spouse.
Keeping up with the Jones, refinance those mortgage loans, perfect gardens, perfect yards, charge it on the credit cards.
We didn't quite retire, though we planned to, honey. We ran out of money. We didn't quite retire, though we never meant it. Well, I guess we spent it.
E-Trade, Charles Schwab, summer home, second job. Market rises, market falls, gains and losses, margin calls. Tax planning, wills and trusts, housing values going bust. High cost, great expense, blow the kids' inheritance.
Euro crisis, Greek debt, budget targets not met, layoffs, pink slips, flying out on business trips.
College education, wage and price inflation, bankyards nearly drawn, accounts are overdrawn.
Wall Street bailout, welfare checks to mail out, dollar value really low, where will oil prices go?
Modern maturity, social security, co-pays, here it comes, health insurance premium.
We didn't quite retire, though we planned to, honey. We ran out of money. We didn't quite retire, though we never meant it. Well, I guess we spent it. We didn't quite retire, though we planned to, honey. We ran out of money. We didn't quite retire, and when we are gone, all our debts go on and 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 on.
Hello, I'm Gino Harris, and you'll learn about artists from all around the area when you watch MetroArts on Detroit Public Television.
Well, we hope you enjoyed today's show. I'd like to thank our guests, Brittany C. Myree, Derek Weaver and the Graffiti Artist, and Habeas Chorus Line for joining us today. I'm your host on MetroArts, Naksheen Nassif, reminding you that art is an international language we can all support.